I'm Dresden. I'm in second year specializing in women and gender studies at the University of Toronto. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm a transgender male. Basically, that means like I was assigned female at birth, but like totally not a girl. Total boy, 100%. Yeah, so helping Carrie with her project. And so the first question is, can you say a little bit about your journey through transitioning? So I'll try to be really quick about this. When I was a kid, like, I was always, like, that tomboy and, like, always hung out with, like, the boys and things like that. I don't think I quite grasped that I wasn't a boy. Or, like, wasn't a boy, but, like, whatever. And then, like, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, I started to dress more feminine and try to be more feminine to fit in with people. That didn't work. And essentially I started dressing a bit more masculine. And then in grade 10, I came out as gay. And then I decided to cut off all my hair, which it was long, and it was a beautiful mane, but, like, I needed to cut it. And started even dressing more masculine. Like, I started wearing boxers, I was buying men's clothes. And then, basically, around, like, grade 12, I started questioning if I was a girl. And I learned what, like, trans was, and I was like, oh, shit, like, that could be me. But, like, I had to really think about it, because one of my mental illnesses, makes me have identity disturbances, and so I'm not, like, I always shift in my identity, so I'm always like, is this a real thing, or is this gonna be, like, 2 weeks, and then we're gonna be done with it? So, I thought about it for a good, like, 2 years, until I really was like, oh, shit. That's me. And I kind of came out to, my drag family, because I was doing drag at the time, and they just called me Dresden. They used he, him pronouns. It felt right to me. And then in September of last year, I, like, officially came out to everyone, like, and started socially transitioning. And so I told everyone to call me Dresden. Pronouns are he and him. Don't call me anything else, because that's not right. And then in December of that year, I decided to actually start hormone replacement therapy. And so I started getting shots of testosterone April 7th of this year, 2016. And I've been 7.5 months on hormones. My voice has dropped a lot. I've got, like, a little baby mustache. It's nice. Yeah, most people call me, like, Dresden and stuff. My family is almost there. Like, they slip up from time to time, but I mean, like, what do you want? And then, yeah, like, in the future, like, I'm looking to get top surgery around the summer of next year. And I don't quite know if I want bottom surgery. Like, I flip-flop through it, and, like, I think I'm just gonna think about it for a really long time, to be honest. Yeah, so that's my journey so far in my transition. Personally, like, everyone's different and everyone reacts to it differently. For me, it's just, like, I don't know, I don't really do anything. I'm often, like, too shy and anxious and a scared little boy to actually correct people. Which, like I said, like, everyone's different. Like, a lot of people will correct people, but, like, I'm just scared of everybody. So I don't really do anything. Like, normally, if I'm with a friend, like, they'll correct them because they're braver than I am. I'm not. But how does it make me feel? I think that's the more important part. But whenever I get referred to as, like, she or, like, a female, like, it's hard. It's really hard because I work so hard to present myself as male and masculine, and it just, when somebody misgenders me, it just feels like I've done something, like, I don't know, like, I'm not being masculine enough or being seen as male enough. And so after I normally get, like, misgendered, like, I tend to, like, stop being feminine and, like, fruity and everything, and I'll just, like, try to act like super masculine buff boy because it's hard and it hurts. It hurts a lot, especially, like, now, because, like, like before I could understand it because I wasn't on testosterone and my voice was really high and my body was very feminine. I didn't have a good binder. But when it happens, like, now, it's so different because it's like, what the heck, like, why? I'm not on hormones and things like that for you to call me a girl. Like, no. It's hard. It's definitely hard. And like I said, like, everyone reacts differently, but I feel like it all feels the same to us. Like, it all hurts the same. You feel? You feel? I don't recall anybody misgendering me on purpose. The only time, like, I really, like, get misgendered is when I'm with my family, but they never do it intentionally, and most of the times they'll catch themselves and correct themselves. If you misgender somebody on purpose, like, that's malicious and that is not cool. Like, that's, like, I don't understand why people do that. Like, that's not, I don't get it. And, like, the trans community, we have a 41% suicide rate. Like, it's really, really high. I think, like, the highest in the LGBTQ community. And so, like, for you to misgender somebody on purpose, like, you don't know if that trans person is, like, already, like, suicidal or something, or dealing with something, and that could just be, like, the pushing point. And, like, why? I don't get it. Like, don't ever do that. Like, that's not okay. It doesn't matter what the person did to you, it's never okay to, like, maliciously misgender somebody. Ugh. Sorry, I just have a lot of feelings about this one. This one pisses me off. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. I go to the University of Toronto, but I have been on the DCUIT campus. Like, I've been on both, like, the downtown campus for UIT and the North Campus for DCUIT. Never really experienced any at the downtown campus. I don't think I've experienced any at, like, either campuses. But just because I haven't personally experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I've been very privileged in my transition and just my life in general and things like that. When I was out as gay, like, no one ever gave me a hard time. When I came out as trans, no one ever gave me a hard time. Identifying as queer, I've never had a hard time. But just because I don't personally experience it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And so there's a huge possibility that there is transphobia at TCUIT. I know, like, there's transphobia at my school. Like, it's getting a lot of media right now with the whole election and things like that. So it does exist. Even at, like, a huge diverse campus as mine, it definitely doesn't exist, and it's gross. Have I ever felt any in the Oshawa community? Again, like, not really. Like, I've only been street harassed once, and I was called a faggot and the C word. But I don't think it was because I was trans. I just think they, like, thought I was, like, queer of some sort, which, like, I am, but, like, don't street harass people. Like, that's not okay. But again, like, just because I haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist in Oshawa. I don't know, like, I've been very fortunate again, and, like, I'm in, like, I go to PFLAG, I go to, like, PFLAG transitions when I'm in Oshawa, when I can, and, like, those are really, like, if you are experiencing transphobia in the community, definitely reach out to PFLAG, and, like, PFLAG transitions if, like, you are genderqueer of any sort or trans, because it's definitely, like, a good support to have in the community. I know that like it's a place where the community can come together and we can talk about our issues and talk about things in our community that need to be better, and it's just a good safe space to be and make friends and to see that like there actually is a community, even if you feel like you're the only trans person or the only LGBTQ plus person. Yeah. So, I mean, that's all I have for the questions. Carrie, I hope you get like an A++++. What up? Peace, guys.